The devil. Regarding the notion of the devil, for me, from Japanese culture, where this concept does not exist, summed up in its own way what was being experienced in the light. Devil and God is the same. God being everything. The devil can only be a part of it. It represents a negative but indispensable notion, made childish by popular superstitions, representing only a part of reality. Compared to electricity, a short circuit is something very unpleasant, but its benefits are immense. By bringing the negative pole, the least, closer to the diabolical principle, we see that it can only exist accompanied by the positive pole, the most, or divine. Moreover, limiting electricity to those two principles is far too simplistic, and forgetting the current in amperes, the intensity in volts, plus the electromagnetic effects. Divine reality, as I perceive it, is much more complex than this misunderstood superstitious duality. The devil or Satan is only the spiritual force that attracts soul to materialism, as gravity attracts matter. It must be understood that, in my analysis of the book of Revelation, all descriptions must be removed from the intricate decor that clothed them and brought back to their fundamental geometric structure. It is this structure that will generate, according to the impulse it receives, an image more or less realistic, humanized, or animalized in the mind of the one who contemplates it, according to its ability to receive it. So a little shepherdess goes to see a beautiful lady talking to her in Lourdes. This lady never said who Jesus' mother was, while someone with higher spiritual abilities would have been able to receive a more abstract message without the need for a figurative image. However, it would have been great difficulty in transmitting it to the rest of the world and with such power. We could make a comparison with computer science. Geometry is mainly made up of numbers. Computer science is only numbers, a series of particular numbers, a certain arrangement of which forms a software that only a computer scientist can understand. For the common people, this software must be represented as an image on a screen. Depending on the pulse it receives, this sequence of numbers will show different images. By approximation, we could say that I'm looking for the software behind the images described in the book of Revelation, which is not easy. Description of the painting. According to my experiments and my discoveries, there is a screen, which is not white as a cinema, but structured by flat geometric constructions whose way of treating them in colors gives the illusion of relief, depth, and even evokes a landscape from another world. By being animated either in silence by various lightning or by lights effect caused by music, they offer different aspects and become meaningful. There is another construction of bright images that will come to life, and also a final and static fluorescent image, the heavenly Jerusalem, whose name will change after a certain discovery. The three pictorial structures, although different, are closely intertwined. This explains the difficulty of extracting them to realize the work, especially since a fourth will appear soon. And lastly, there is an accessory equipment, the kaleidoscope, located in the room that intervenes in John's vision, but which is not directly part of the picture. In addition, the descriptions call upon unknown cinematographic effects, obviously in antiquity. wide shot, narrow shot, field, counterfield, bottom view, bird's eye view, zoom, reversal of directions, etc. As it is much more sophisticated than current cinema techniques, John has the impression of being inside the three-dimensional image. He thinks he sees scenes of character in front of him and behind him, when he sees the same thing, the same character according to my analysis. Such a geometric image, depending on the focus, the animated illumination and the message it carries, will appear to him very differently. In addition, the same still image, the heavenly Jerusalem, will represent at the same time a view from far, a central zoom, a view from below, an image cleared from the other, a bit like in the time of the Romanesque painting, where the scenes were represented without taking perspective into account, with an apparent clumsiness, small characters and other large, gigantic, on the same plane, or bigger than the city or the castle they defended. This representation was intentional, intended to express the relative importance of one or the other, or else charged to express particular message coming from another world. This research is deeply ecumenical, and I would find details in various religions. The one for the central ball comes from Hinduism, thanks to Ramakrishna, who was a great sage with very high spiritual experimentation. He lived in the late 19th and early 20th centuries and talked at length about the intense vision he had of a blue ball which he assimilated to Krishna, other divine appearance. This will be confirmed in the description of Ezekiel's visions at the end of the Jewish Old Testament. Some have seen there the proof of the coming on Earth of an alien spacecraft, when my research led me to understand that it described the same thing as in John's visions, but at another time and from a different angle. It describes other elements that have allowed me to clarify certain details and also to confirm others, such as the songs which are evoked, accompanied by sounds resembling completely sounds of synth. The fact that I develop point by point in the complete version of the book, The Secret of Apocalypse, Extasium, certain elements of the book of Revelation should not make believe that it is how it appeared to me. In fact, I had a global vision right from the start of all these elements. That's what hooked me. It was only after that I was able to deepen them over the years and through experiments. The current of light. In full connection sitting meditation, I have an unusual experience that will not happen again. Besides all the very intense experiences of the great vision that I had, only happened once. I feel a great stream of light penetrating my head and going down to the bottom of me. One moment of stop, and it starts again to the top, with a strongly increased intensity. I felt it has been the divine who came down to contemplate himself in the mirror that he had created in me, and that his contemplations has given him an immense satisfaction that he shared a little with his creator. Perceptions of the extasium. Most of the time, people are unable to express what they felt and perceived in the extasium. Many prefer to remain silent, to bath longer in this extraordinary wellness. Some say there is no word. But some people were able to describe amazing scenes to me when we know that I only represented bright geometric construction. A young woman, after the show, told me she witnesses the attack a medieval castle with soldiers in battlements and knights rushing on the drawbridge to enter the square. As she relived the scenes, her voice became more and more tenuous, her eyes vague, and then she went back into the light, this time more abstract. I never knew the end of this story. Another woman told me that she had seen the apocalypse before the idea of the book even came to my mind. The funniest thing was one evening when there were many of us for the room, that is to say 10 or 11 people. One of the boys says, I saw a girl in red underwear. Two others had him it too, and that was it. Was it the woman who dressed for the party? Vision of the Heavenly Jerusalem. April 4th, 1988. Very great vision. For the first time, and the only one, I see the heavenly Jerusalem as a whole. Everything is in place, very clear. Unfortunately, when one is in this plane of consciousness, it is very difficult to remember all the details. This is one of the reasons why I do not attach too much importance to the immense amount of details that John gives of his visions. How could he keep everything? I myself have been able to see how the imagination, the mental projections, the assumptions, the preconceptions throw themselves on the fundamental impulse of the visions as soon as we go down, to dress it with details more down to earth, corresponding to the era in which we live and are concerned, and that distorts the truth. Not to mention the additions and embellishments added by the various scribes who have been succeeded. That's why I'm clinging to the essentials that I tried, helped by my intuition, to release.